Tubalcain here, and this is a short foreword or preface to my video on getting the Vespa motor scooter. But you know, the famous writer Thomas Wolfe once said, "You can't go home again." But in this video I make an ill-fated attempt to do just that and capture my youth. So stand by, and I think you're going to like this one. Here's a picture of an ALLSTATE Vespa in a museum alongside of a Cushman, and that was the original color. Now, before I get into this video, be sure and watch this video when it becomes available. Today is like May the 10th, but this video isn't quite ready yet, but it's one of the longest videos I ever made, and it is a video on how to make a lead hammer mold, and it's a full 2 hours long, and I think it's broken up into 6 chapters. So what I've done in this one is to make a lead hammer, and in order to do that I made a wooden pattern from which I made plaster molds, and finally finished with the aluminum lead hammer mold. And with the lead hammer mold I made a lead hammer, so be sure and watch that one when it becomes available. Now I got another surprise for you. At the end of this video, be sure and watch the whole video, and if you like it, be sure and click the like, but I will disclose my face, so there'll be a picture of Tubalcain at the end of this video, so be sure and look for that. Howdy, it's Tubalcain once again, and I'm excited today because I'm going to take another road trip, and I hope that you will join me in this road trip as I go 35 miles to the valley and pick up a Vespa motor scooter. Now, when I was 16, my dad said you can't have a car till you're out of high school, so my alternative was a motor scooter. And I bought a used ALLSTATE Vespa motor scooter just like this. This isn't the actual one, and it was even painted this color, like a mint green. So I immediately sold it when I was old enough to have a car because, well, a lot of reasons, but I've been wanting one ever since. So join me now as I go on a trip and I turn this money into a 1956 Vespa, but it is a parts case. It is in 100 parts, and it'll be a big 3D jigsaw puzzle to put back together. Sears sold these through their big catalog, and mine was in 1957, and they were $319 used. They were Italian built, and Vespa is the Italian word for wasp, and they took that name from the rather bulbous rear end, not unlike a wasp. So join me now as I get in my old red truck and go through the Illinois farmland, and perhaps some of you will be interested in that. If you've seen my last video on that, maybe you aren't interested in another road trip, but it was quite popular. And we might see some farmers out in the fields. A lot of the planting has been done now, but we'll take a look at some different parts of the landscape around here. And I think this is very interesting to you people that are overseas, and I'm getting a lot of comments from New Zealand and Australia where you guys drive on the wrong side of the road and pay a lot of money for gasoline compared to us, and I thought our $3.60 or 70 cents was a lot of money, and but nothing compared to the Europeans and some other parts of the country. So let's get out in the Dodge truck and have a little fun. And away we go, as Jackie Gleason would say. We're going to take a little mini adventure today to the valley to pick up my 1955 or 56 Vespa, I'm not sure which, crossing the Vermillion River here for the first out of 3 times as it winds its way through the valley here, coming up to the top side here. And notice that the ram is faced the wrong way, and it's symbolic of the fact that I'm going back in time, but I live in the past anyway. I'm going to get that Vespa motor scooter. Now actually, before I had the Vespa, I had a Cushman for several years, or about a year, and that was, the girls didn't like that, so I had to get something a little flashier. The Cushman was only like 4 horse. That was an Allstate Cushman too, and just had no pickup with 2 guys on it. And I'm going to rendezvous with my friend here in about a half hour, and friend of over 60 years, and he's the one that spent much time on that motor scooter behind me. So he's going to help me load up this other one, and perhaps if I ever get it running, I'll put him on the back. But now we got 2 fat old men. I'm not sure that thing will have enough power. I'm in the old Dodge truck. Hopefully we'll see some farmers working today. There isn't any corn sprouted. The field off to the right here has been planted. I can see the planter marks. I don't know about the one on the left here. That looks like the machinery has been in there maybe for spraying or fertilizing. A lot of that going on now, fertilizing. Most of the farmers have that done by custom people. Hello to you guys down there in New Zealand and Australia. Notice that I drive on the correct side of the road, not like you guys. You guys get a ticket around here. And across the Vermillion River again here. Second time. It's pretty low now. The water's real low for this time of year, and the soil is dry. We could use a good rain, and it did sprinkle just a little bit earlier this morning. It's about 11 o'clock now. I'm going to meet my buddy Dwight, and we'll have lunch before we pick up that scooter. I pulled the truck over. They're laying field tile here, and the machine is in operation, and the tile, which isn't tile anymore at all, it's black plastic tubing, hose, and you see on that reel, and perhaps you can see the machine digging. And here's another machine here, and the role of that machine is just to fill the trench when the tiler is done. So it's sitting idle for the moment. And here's their staging area, where they've got all of their coils. And this may be something that you people in other countries don't see, I'm not sure, but anybody that lives in the Midwest is used to this. See it all the time. I think there's big government money available to do it. And there's one of the trenches that's been filled, perhaps you can see. Everything's laser guided now. We will be crossing there's a mushroom hunter. We will cross the Vermillion River here presently for the 3rd and last time. And this is the Sandy Ford Bridge on the Vermillion River. Now, remember the great story that Rod Serling wrote? It was called An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. Well, there was an occurrence at the Sandy Ford Bridge about a year ago, right here as we pass over it, where 2 bad men in the middle of the night met and had a dope deal going. And I don't know what went wrong, but one of the bad men was shot by the other bad man in the face, no less. And it didn't kill him. In the attempt to escape, he jumped off the bridge and into the water, or what he thought was the water, but I think he hit the rocky ground there, broke his leg, and then the other bad man took off, and the injured man was able to get up to a farmhouse and get the ambulance and police and everything, and but they did catch the shooter as well, and probably gave him 30 days of court supervision or something like that. Seems to me there's little justice nowadays. A lot of these fields haven't been tilled yet. Still got last year's corn stalks. The one off on the left is planted. I can see the planter marks. Coming up to a big grain elevator here, and a lot of action around there in the fall, and as they sell the corn and beans. But there used to be a railroad track there, but it's long gone. So we still got a lot of these elevators around here that are landlocked now. So everything has to be trucked in and then again trucked out. But there are several big rail loops around here too, with a mile of track in a circle, and where they load the 110 grain cars and take it to New Orleans or someplace. Probably so they can ship it overseas. So there's 3 of those big facilities right here within about 30 miles of where I'm driving right now. Oh, that garbage truck there. Keep it on the road, Newt. He keeps hitting the shoulder. In my last video, I remarked on the demise of our corn cribs around here. And just within the last few weeks here, on the left side of the road, sat a corn crib for many years, and it became rather decrepit. And now what you see right here is where it sat for 100 years, and now it's gone. Notice that we haven't seen any cattle yet, or livestock. Here comes a grain truck. Gonna go to that elevator I just showed you. I think I'll let him make the turn here, for which he will be quite grateful. See if he waves to me. And he did. They're pretty courteous. Little country church. Quite picturesque. I know some of you guys in other countries are interested in what we do around here, and there's a barn that's just about ready to fall down, and there's a corn crib that was made of brick or tile, and they're round. There was quite a few of them around here. And that one, of course, is empty. The roof soon will fall apart and then the whole thing will crumble. Hate to see that. You know, I just moved the truck about 100 feet forward here, and look what was hiding behind that barn. Yes, the John Deere excavator will do its duty, and the next time I pass by here, there'll be corn planted there, and I will quickly forget that the building was there. I hope they don't take the crib also. For you guys in other countries, these cribs held corn on the ear or on the cob. It wasn't shelled. And that's tile, and all the openings, of course, was to allow the corn to dry. There was a door in it, and the wagons were brought in there, and there was an elevator to carry the corn up high and drop it in there, and sometimes there was an elevator that went into the cupola in the top. You can see an opening up there. That's actually how they loaded them. They unloaded them down here. Here's a big planter. I don't know how many rows it is. The engine is running, but I don't know where the farmers are. Maybe they went for lunch. This one is not computer guided with the GPS because it has a marker. A lot of them around here do not use the markers anymore, or their markers stay in the upright position. I know this isn't unique to this area, but probably many people in other countries don't see equipment like this. And this isn't even the biggest one. You'll see planters around here much bigger than this even. There's another big grain elevator. A lot of these elevators are remodeling and putting in bigger bins, and off to the left there's a fertilizer facility, and there's a small corn crib that won't be there in about a year. But here at this elevator, they have ripped out all of the old dryers, and they're installing new dryers, so they'll have them for this fall. Boy, this road is bad right here. See these old dryers and bins here? All scrap metal now. And the new one will go, well, I missed it. Here's a pretty horse. Straight in front of me is a nursery, but it's poorly managed, and they like to let their trees mature until they have to cut them down with a chainsaw or bring a bulldozer in. They are planting some small ones there, but you can see how large they let some of those trees get. Alright, here comes some machinery. Oh, I'm over a rumble bar. I gotta make sure this guy's got room here. Not even sure exactly what that piece of equipment was. You see a lot of redbud trees right now in full blossom. They're so pretty. And if you're in another part of the country or another part of the world where you don't see those, you know, I got a little story to tell you. I was in Branson about 10 years ago at a big theater, and Regis Philbin was there. And he, of course, is from New York, and he had landed in a plane at Springfield, Missouri, and then they drove down, which was about another 40 miles or something, and he asked the audience, "What are those pink, reddish pink trees?" And the audience in unison said, 2,000 people said, there's one right there. 2,000 people in unison said, "Redbud trees, Regis." And you see my Vespa pin here on the dash? I'm not sure it's showing up. Going down a hill here and into the valley. Going to cross the Illinois River here presently. You can see the trees aren't even fully leafed out here, even though it is May 7th today. There's a few redbuds along here. I remember when they built this road, because when it was still dirt, I came up it in my Vespa in 1961 and burnt the clutch out right about where we are now. And somehow or another I ordered the clutch parts, the plates, from Sears Roebuck, and installed them myself. I'm not sure how I figured it out, because I was 16 years old and the only tools we had were crescent wrenches and pliers. And all of this fill that we're riding on now, because this is lowland off to the right, which will always flood, and to the left too for that matter, but all of this fill was brought in by dredging from the river with big pipes, and that itself is over 50 years ago. And we'll be presently crossing a bridge here, a truss bridge, and I remember when that was built, and walking across it long before it was open with a bunch of other teenagers. And this is the Illinois River, which hooks up with the Mississippi at Grafton, Illinois. Videos on lately, so make sure you go back and watch all of them, and a bunch of my road trips, and there seem to be an interest in my road trips, but they sure as heck interest me, so I suppose why wouldn't they interest some of you other gearheads out there?